friends, today we plunge into an extreme moment. Standing upon a massive sheet of ice at the ends of the Earth, where you realize the very ground beneath you is beginning to disintegrate.
All around is only ice, sub-zero temperatures, and the solitary haven behind you, your ship, is sinking. You have only one wooden lifeboat, and with you are 28 men who rely on your promise. You are the leader.
What would you do in that moment? Would you lose hope? Surrender yourself to fate? Or would you prepare to keep an impossible promise? This is the story of Sir Ernest Henry Shackleton, the greatest survival saga in human history. This story will redefine your understanding of courage and perseverance.
The beginning was in Ireland. Ernest Henry Shackleton was born into a humble family in 1874. He was quiet, but his eyes held a restless energy. Beyond school, that restlessness pulled him toward the sea. At just 16, he began working on ships. For Shackleton, the sea was not just a path, it was the stage for fulfilling his dreams. In his personal life, Shackleton was an extraordinary husband and father. His wife Emily was his greatest strength, who supported all his madness and adventures unconditionally. But Ernest's heart yearned for that white, cold, mysterious continent, Antarctica. To him, Antarctica was the last unconquered fortress of the world, which he had to conquer. In 1901, he joined Scott's expedition to Antarctica for the first time, but complete victory eluded him. His ultimate dream was to be the first human to cross the Antarctic continent on foot. That dream gave birth to an epic tragedy, and from the womb of that tragedy, a new definition of human leadership was born.
August 1914. Europe was on the brink of a world war, but Shackleton set sail with his ship, named Endurance. Shackleton's eyes held only the dream of crossing the continent. On his ship were 28 brave crew members. Their journey was a challenge that no one in human history had ever attempted. As the ship departed South Georgia and headed toward the Weddell Sea, Shackleton's heart was full. Little did he know that destiny had a different plan, a trial of fire that would test his life, his vision, and his very definition of command before he ever touched the continent's shore.
January 1915. The Endurance was days away from the coast when fate intervened. The ice in the Weddell Sea froze with unexpected speed. The ship was slowly but surely imprisoned. Months bled into months, and the icy grip refused to loosen. As winter deepened, the pressure on the ship intensified. During this time, Shackleton penned in his diary, "I was indebted to my dream, but now I am indebted to the lives of my crew. I brought them here with a vision. Now preserving their lives is my sacred obligation." October 1915. After 10 months of struggle, the ultimate blow landed. Under the unbearable pressure of the colossal ice, the timbers of the Endurance were crushed. With a horrifying sound, the ship was utterly destroyed. In the final hours, as the ship listed, Shackleton gathered his crew and declared, "Courage! We must not lose heart. The ship is sinking, but our hope will not sink." He finally understood their mission was no longer a continental crossing, but an epic of pure survival.
After the ship's demise, Shackleton and his 28 men set up camp on the drifting ice. This was a moment that could have shattered any man's resolve, yet Shackleton's leadership was nothing short of miraculous. He kept the crew occupied, he organized games, and maintained a climate of humor.
He knew that sustaining the spirit was paramount to sustaining the body. He ensured that food rations were strictly equal for officers and ordinary sailors alike. He instituted double shifts for watch duty, preventing mental despair. He often rose late at night to check personally on every tent. One day, a crew member said to him in desperation, "Sir, will we ever see home again? Will your dream ultimately cost us our lives?" Shackleton looked calmly at Thomas and replied, "No, Thomas, our dream has merely shifted. I will not allow a single one of your lives to be lost. This is my new vow, and a Shackleton never breaks his promise." A renewed life seemed to be breathed into the souls of the crew. They saw in their leader's eyes a faith that was utterly indomitable. For 5 agonizing months, they remained on the ice. Shackleton was their sole anchor. His extraordinary patience and self-confidence were the walls that kept the crew from collapsing. April 1916. The ice floe itself began to break up. Shackleton knew time had run out. The lifeboat journey commenced. They battled the perilously cold waters of the Weddell Sea for 5 days in 3 small, fragile wooden boats. After 5 days, they finally reached the uninhabited Elephant Island. The men knelt, kissing the earth. This island was a wild, cold landscape, but no help could ever reach them there. Upon reaching Elephant Island, Shackleton knew it was only a temporary haven. He stood before the crew and declared, "To stay here means certain doom. I will go. I will bring help for you. This is my promise. And I have one order for you. You will not move one step from here until I return. And until I return, you must keep yourselves alive." He chose the smallest yet sturdiest lifeboat, the 22-foot-long James Caird. It was nothing more than an open boat, utterly unfit to face the terrifying blizzards of the Antarctic seas. Yet, it was their final hope. Shackleton took with him only 5 of the most experienced and bravest sailors. The remaining 22 men he entrusted to his deputy, Frank Wild, along with critically limited food and supplies. Just before departing, Shackleton leaned close and whispered to Wild's ear, "If I fail, tell them I tried, but I will not fail. You keep them alive. I will come to free you all." Wild simply lowered his head and replied, "We will wait, sir." April 24, 1916. Shackleton commenced his historic, near-suicidal voyage. Their target was the distant South Georgia Island, 800 nautical miles away, infamous for blizzards and the world's highest waves. The voyage of the James Caird was one of the greatest feats of navigation in human history. For 36 grueling days, they endured nature's most ferocious trial. The ocean swells were colossal, crashing down upon the boat like mountainous waves. Shackleton's comrades took turns bailing the ice-cold water from the vessel. A single misjudgment meant instant capsizing. The frigid water and wind were turning their bodies to stone. They survived on meager rations inside the boat, yet Shackleton often personally poured equal measures of water into everyone's cup, ensuring no one succumbed to despair. One night, as the storm reached its zenith, Shackleton spotted a monstrous wave advancing toward them. It was the Elephant Wave, a giant from the frozen sea. He yelled, "Hold on for dear life! If we die together, but we will not yield!" The wave struck. Miraculously, the James Caird remained afloat, but the entire boat was instantly encased in ice. Shackleton broke the ice, gritting his teeth, clinging to the tiller. His life was no longer his own. It was a vow to the 22 men waiting. May 8th, 1916. After 36 days on the savage sea, Shackleton and his party reached the coast of South Georgia Island. But fate's trial was not yet complete. Extreme weather forced them to land on the uninhabited western shore. The center of help, a Norwegian whaling station, lay on the opposite side of the island. To reach their salvation, they had to cross the formidable mountain range that split the island in two. Shackleton, with his two companions, Worsley and Crean, began yet another impossible trek. This journey stands as one of the most audacious feats of mountaineering in human history. They had no map, no climbing gear, only a single rope and their sheer, indomitable will. For a grueling 36 hours straight, they traversed across impenetrable ice mountains, crevasses, and glaciers. Exhaustion pushed them to the brink of death, yet Shackleton's vow was the force that drove them onward.
At one point, Worsley was on the verge of collapsing from sheer exhaustion. Shackleton stopped him and commanded, "Worsley, remember your mother. Remember your journey home. Gather your courage, not for yourself, but for all of us and your family. We are the only hope for those 22 men." Hearing those words, Worsley stood up once more. This leadership was not just about physical endurance. It was the ultimate power of mental inspiration. Finally, after 36 hours, they caught the scent of human habitation. When Shackleton finally reached the Norwegian whaling station on South Georgia, his appearance was so frightful that no one recognized him. He laid out the entire story and immediately pleaded for aid. For the next 3 months, Shackleton worked tirelessly. The first 2 rescue attempts failed. Finally, for the 3rd attempt, he secured a Chilean vessel and sailed toward Elephant Island.
August 30, 1916. Shackleton arrived at Elephant Island with his rescue vessel. The 22 crew members were then at the absolute limit of despair and starvation. When Wild saw Shackleton, he initially could not believe his own eyes. Shackleton put down his cigar and, smiling, spoke only one line to Wild. "I have kept my promise, Wild. Is everyone all right?" Wild simply nodded and said, "Yes, sir. I have kept my promise too. I haven't let anyone die. We were all waiting." Shackleton rescued his 28 crew members, whole and unharmed. This remains one of the rarest events in human history. His expedition failed the test of crossing the continent, but in the ultimate test of leadership, sacrifice, and keeping a vow, he made humanity victorious.
We who live secure lives often crumble under minor adversity. But Shackleton's story illuminates this truth. The true hero is not the one who never fails. The true hero is the one who, having lost everything, clings fiercely to hope and moral duty. The sea of ice shattered his ship, yet it failed to break his spirit. The solitude of Elephant Island could not shake his resolve. With indomitable determination, every time he faced peril, he not only dreamt of rescue, but ignited hope in the hearts of his crew. Armed with mountain-like morale and an unyielding will, he ultimately returned to his family and restored every single one of his companions unharmed to their desired destination. Whenever you feel you are trapped in the extreme ice of your own life, when you feel all your dreams have been shattered, then remember the spirit of Shackleton. Disaster is inevitable, but our surrender is optional. Shackleton's legacy teaches us this: when your last resort sinks, your inner moral compass will guide you to the right path. Give the biggest storm of your life an opportunity to discover the indomitable Shackleton within you.